further ado, let's give a rousing New York welcome to Richard Gage, who's been going at it since 8 a.m. this morning.
Thank you very much. The effort that has gone into the series of stops that we have made throughout the city of New York today is the work of 100 volunteers. Raise your hand if you're one of those. Make it several hundred, okay? This is extraordinary. We started at St. Paul's Chapel, where we gathered and educated the tourists who were coming to learn about 9/11 and what really happened there. Well, at least we gave them a few surprises along their path. Then we proceeded to the City Hall, where we gave the educational materials to 51 city councilmen. After that, we went to Democracy Now! By Amy Goodman on 25th Street, where we served as a protest outside of her offices. Why? Because she will not touch the 9/11 truth. Well, we said, Amy Goodman, come and interview us. You have to touch the 9/11 truth. 9/11 started major wars. 9/11 lost our civil liberties. 9/11 destroyed our economy. If we tackle, as a nation, the problem of 9/11 and how it happened, am I yelling too much? Somebody's going like this. Is it too much for you? All right. Then we can free our country from the tyranny of censorship, which we're seeing not only in our Congress, but in the mainstream media, which we have also visited after going to Democracy Now! NBC, ABC, CBS, CBC, and CNN all got the packages. The DVD, 9/11 Explosive Evidence, we delivered it to every one of them. Rachel Maddow, Chris Hayes, Chris Matthews, Bill O'Reilly, Sean Hannity, Geraldo Rivera. We will be relentless. Why? Because the American people are beginning to demand a real investigation. In fact, a new national survey commissioned by Rethink 9/11, conducted last month by the polling firm YouGov, revealed that almost 1 in 2 Americans have doubts about the government's account of 9/11. 6 years ago, it was not like this. 6 years ago, how many of you were around in the streets before the architects and engineers for 9/11 Truth came to assist you with the few architects and engineers we began to gather at the time, and had people saying, where are the architects and engineers? How many of you were there? All right, well, we're here now with 2,000 architects and engineers to back you up. In this poll, after viewing the collapse of Building 7, which you see towering above us, and asked, did you know a third tower came down? They say, no. We show them in the poll. Then they say, half of them at least, well, that's a controlled demolition. Duh! A child gets this. We've all seen controlled demolitions. At that point, 46% of them also want a real investigation. So you see, it's a matter of getting the evidence into the hands and the heads of the American people. That is all it takes, and you are all we need to do it. What are you going to tell them? You're going to tell them that this building, a 47-story skyscraper, on 9/11, after not being hit by an airplane, but having a few small scattered fires, drops freely, without resistance, straight down, uniformly, into its own footprint in under 7 seconds. This is a brick. I'm going to drop it. This is how fast Building 7 drops. 3, 2, 1, wait. Kevin McPadden, who was going to be here tonight, who was a first responder, was on site. What did he hear before that building came down? A countdown. He's hearing the radio in the hands of a Red Cross worker. 3, 2, 1. And then the building explodes, and we have dozens of first responders hearing this, and the building drops this fast. 3, 2, 1. No resistance. All 80 columns must have been removed instantly in order for that building to fall symmetrically at free fall acceleration straight down uniformly into its own footprint. Now this is a problem. That means there were explosives set in the columns and beams in that building. That is the only possibility. Everybody who looks at this evidence in our DVD recognizes that that is the case. These are available, by the way, on the sales table in the back. Kelly, raise up the DVDs and show everybody where you are. Kelly, 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 Kelly. There we are. Hold them up. There we are. Lots of DVDs for you guys to take home. You can support AE 9/11 Truth with your donation of $10 for the DVD. Now, the problem is that this necessarily implies that somebody got into the building surreptitiously to plant and place and in fact engineer those explosions. Guess what? Al-Qaeda probably did not have access to this building. It was one of the most highly secure buildings outside the Pentagon and the Twin Towers. It had the CIA in it, the IRS, the FBI, the Secret Service, Mayor Giuliani's Office of Emergency Management. This is a very secure building. So, who planted those explosives? Those are the questions. Who benefited? Who had access to the building? Who had access to the very high-tech nanothermite residue that is found throughout the World Trade Center dust? These are the questions that enterprising journalists and criminal investigators must have a pursuit for. It's extremely important. We're architects and engineers. We provide the evidence. Let's let criminal investigators do their job, and you can force them to do it to find out who is responsible. Until then, educate every architect, every engineer, every citizen, every elected representative and media representative that you can. You can email the AE911truth.org link to all of them. Our next speaker is Tom Kiley. Tom Kiley is an alternative media activist who co-founded INN World Report in 2001, an alternative daily news and information television program broadcast nationally on the Dish Network Satellite Systems Free Speech TV channel, which airs in Austin, Texas, and Oklahoma City, as well as on the World Wide Web. Located in New York, just a half-mile directly north of the World Trade Center complex, INN has been tirelessly reporting on the truth about 9/11. As soon as the shock and awe wore off, and it was indeed shock and awe that we were all hit with on that morning, and that is the principal reason why most of us don't want to go back in our psychological space to address the implications of these controlled demolitions, which are very severe. Our worldview is often not capable of handling the cognitive dissonance proposed by the reality of the implications of these controlled demolitions. That's why we have 8 psychologists, experts not only in their field of psychology, but in 9/11 Truth. On our DVD, it is the most extraordinary part. How many of you have heard the psychologist and think this is the best part of the DVD? It's very important for our outreach.